Well, my feed is up. Sorry for the technical issues here, folks. We're switching over to StreamYard here to stream to YouTube. Hopefully, you guys can see me and hear me. Yep, I can see myself on YouTube here. I'm going to mute my YouTube, though, because... All right, so we're just waiting for Nathan and Cody to get back in, and I'm really sorry, guys. I don't know what happened with this, but let me know if you can't hear me on the chat again. And thank you for speaking up on that. Hopefully, we didn't lose everybody. And I'll tell you what. I think what I need to do is try to give you guys a link here. I mean, you're on the YouTube here, so the YouTube channel. All right, I'm going to end Zoom then. All right, sorry, folks. Technical stuff here. Nathan and Cody had to leave Zoom. We were on a Zoom call transmitting through OBS to YouTube. And as those things go, they get a little screwed up. So I apologize. But boy, I wonder how much you guys missed out of everything I was saying. It was probably quite a bit, I would imagine. All right, I'm going to add Nathan and Cody to the stream.
Hello.
Cindy says, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't my internet. It's spotty at best. Thank you again for hanging in there and for, for helping us troubleshoot. So you can hear all of us now, right? I just want to make sure. I know you can hear me. I think we should start with introductions. Let's just start this whole thing over. My name is Jeremy. You've probably been familiar with my voice. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
Hi. I waited for Nathan. I waited for you.
I was distracted. Sorry. Hi, I'm Nathan. I do writing and graphics and things. Yeah.
I'm Cody. I write. I do some of the music, not all of it, but some of it. And I am the voice of the Grinner and some other character that you'll see soon.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys, for hanging in there. We were just talking about the whole Rusty Quill network and how long it had been since we had really started on this whole agreement, this partnership that we're doing. And yeah, it's been, since August of last year. And we're just very excited that, number one, they were fans of our show. But number two, they wanted to work with us. And that's freaking amazing, So yeah, we're in it for the next couple seasons at least. Like I said, both parties were extremely excited to work together. And I think what's really cool about this partnership is, we all have some kind of values and ethics that we share. And I think it was really important to them. They emphasized that when they approached us and throughout this whole process. And, we didn't want to just partner with anybody. So I just kind of tip my hat, even though I'm not wearing one. It's a virtual hat. I tip to the Rusty Quill Network just because, they're an upstanding company, and I really love what they're doing and all their values. I spent some time on their Discord server, and they I feel like they have it down. They're great people. So moving on a little bit to Grinner Media. A lot of people have been asking questions about Grinner Media. What the heck is that? So you may notice me saying on the podcast, Storage Papers is a Grinner Media production. So for legal and financial reasons, I recently created Grinner Media. Right now, it's my own company. I'm a sole proprietor. but I do have contract agreements in place with Nathan and Cody to help me with the show. So that kind of plays a part in, us being still 100% in creative control of our show. We own our content through Grinner Media, and I mean that's not changing for the present time. Who knows if it'll change in the future, but we got to get a lot more people to listen and like it in order to consider other things. But we like it right now. We're not jumping at a chance to get rid of it. We have a very large story to tell, and I feel like in some ways we've kind of just got the tip of the iceberg here, going into season 3. But you're also going to see some of that meta plot kind of start to pan out, whereas Jeremy, the character, in season 1 just kind of happened upon this stuff. The further we go, the more involved he's getting and the more pieces he's going to put together. So, new listeners, that's their biggest question is like, is there a meta plot? We don't want like a Monster of the Week episode or so. I mean, some people prefer that, but yeah, there is
It's
a huge plot.
It's definitely a bit of both. There's definitely, a good bit of variety in season 3, with different characters, different monsters and supernatural beings and stuff like that. And so you said, please don't forget the Monster of the Week stuff. Trust me, we didn't. And every episode that I've written so far for season 3, I've made sure definitely not to forget that, you don't just want, to see the evolution of Jeremy and, and that growth, but you do still want to see, something new every week that, is scary and weird. And we're definitely doing a bit of both, and at times, both at the same time. So we're definitely not forgetting the Monster of the Week stuff. Trust me, there's a lot of pretty cool stuff in season 3, and that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's kind of the perfect segue to talk about Patreon a little. I don't want to be very salesy on this. I'm really not trying to push paid content on people, but a lot of people don't know about it. I'm still getting questions about it. So I will take a couple minutes just to go through some things. As of May 11th, I'm sorry, when did we launch it? We actually launched it early, about a week before we went live with Rusty Quill. So what is that, May 3rd, I think it was. We did launch our Patreon campaign. We're calling our patrons curators. There's currently 4 tiers you can select from. It's the website is through Grinner Media, so it's patreon.com/Grinner Media if you want to check those out. There's a bunch of posts already live with extra bonus content and stuff like that. Oh, hey, somebody's already listened to today's episode. Yeah, we put one out this morning.
That's
Remnants.
awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for listening. But yeah, there's lots of rewards. We're trying to get something out at least twice a week, every Sunday and every Thursday. We have, early access to episodes, ad-free. There's bonus episodes. A lot of people are asking too, like, do the bonus episodes, contribute to the meta plot? And in a lot of ways, like you cannot sign up for the Patreon and still get the full meta plot. Like we didn't want to have a paywall for the main story, but they are meant to kind of deepen the lore, to further develop the lore in the Storage Papers universe as a supplement. So you don't need to be on Patreon to enjoy all that, but we do have a lot of kind of Monster of the Week stuff planned through there, and some things that are just a little bit extra. I hate to be cryptic, but that's all I'm going to say right now. So yeah, bonus episodes. We have full-length episodes. We have what we're calling sticky notes, which are kind of smaller, shorter episodes, further condensed. And these are kind of things that might not necessarily, as far as Jeremy the character is concerned, coinciding with the meta plot as it's going on. Now, I will say that doesn't mean it might tie into stuff later, but at least right now, they're just kind of being seen as extras. We have Between the Lines, which has various types of contents, behind the scene rewards. Right now, we've got a video showing my recording setup, which has already changed. In the last week, it's already changed. So I'm going to have to redo that, maybe go into a little more detail. But I put up a gag reel of all the mistakes I make during recording. I know it sounds really eloquent when I'm on the show, but that is heavily edited. I swear a lot. So it's kind of fun to see, what kind of mistakes are being made out there. A whole separate podcast of me, Cody and Nathan talking about season 3. An episode was put out for Between the Lines. Upcoming content. I thought I'd let Nathan and Cody talk about that a little bit here.
As far as upcoming content is concerned, you mean just in general in the general feed or on Patreon?
How about composing music? Upcoming stuff. One of our rewards is share.
Yeah. So I mentioned previously I do some music for the show. I don't do all the music for the show, believe it or not. I have to work and I have to, write and, do, a number of other, life things. So in the future, I'd like to, produce everything. And, in future projects, I definitely want to do, all the music myself. But for everything that, that I've made, especially all the season 3 music, we are going to release that via Patreon, as a download. I did make sure that, all of those are somewhat, listen toable, and they're not too like gonna blast your ears out or anything like that. Early on producing things for the storage papers, I was, making things with the idea that Jeremy will level this. Jeremy will fix, some of these, some of these problems. It doesn't have to be, perfectly mixed, but it's got to be, usable. But going forward, I've made a big step in making sure that all of that stuff sounds really good. And so it'll probably sound a lot better than it does on the podcast, just listening to it, as an MP3 or a WAV. And, going forward, if there's a specific audio format that you need and we didn't give it out on the feed, I'm happy to export it to that and fork it over for you.
Yeah, feel free to let us know. I mean, the Patreon page is new, so I know a few people in attendance here are patrons right now. I believe most people, once they start putting their stuff out on there, kind of experiment with things. So if you guys have suggestions or if you want to see something specific, just shoot us a message. Let us know. We're happy to discuss those things, and we want to make it of value for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nathan, you want to talk about your upcoming stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, just as examples of upcoming stuff we've talked about doing, and I've started doing it for some of it for Between the Lines. Just some background stuff. I was writing a story for, I think it was a Patreon story. I can't remember now, but I was writing it and I was getting stuck. So I pulled out the camera and started recording myself, just talking through it. So it's just stuff like that. A lot of behind the scenes stuff that you don't normally see from creators, I think. And I know Cody talked about kind of giving a glimpse into his music making process, and it's just going to be a lot of I think really interesting behind the scenes content coming up for sure.
Yeah, and I think I don't want to spend too much more time on Patreon. I think most of the people listening are on Patreon already.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're listening to this later, the link is again patreon.com/Grinner Media if you're interested. I did want to talk about merch a little bit. Merchandise is something that people have been asking for a little while. We basically, our Patreon supporters are going to be receiving something special from us quarterly at the platinum level that won't be for sale publicly. And then we're also, we might have a few surprises in there if you're not at the platinum level. We plan to, I always like to say, over deliver, if that makes sense. So, what you see on rewards is the absolute minimum we're going to provide. We've got some stuff up our sleeve, though. We're tricky people. But we do have plans for merch that anyone can buy. We did make a deal with Rusty Quill to have stuff come up in their shop. Not sure exactly when that's going to be available, but I want to be able to provide a way for people to buy some swag, but we didn't want to have two different shops to go through. So they did give us the option, but I didn't want to confuse anybody. Like, we don't want to show competition with our own network or anything.
Yeah. And keep in mind that, Rusty Quill is super charitable, and they're doing quite a bit, not just in helping us, but, in helping, that whole list of, other, small podcasters and creators. And I'd say that's definitely a good place to put your money. I think that they're pretty, worthwhile investing in. So don't feel like you have to, come, directly to us and, directly support us. They're doing a ton to support us to begin with. So, it's just as fine either direction you take.
Right. And, and this wasn't planned for us to talk about, but we recently did just start discussing charitable work. And, I think that's something that we've recently realized is important to all of us. So
yes,
while we make plans for that in the future, we'll definitely keep you guys posted on what's going on with that, as well as, once our stuff goes live in the merch shop over at Rusty Quill. But let's Nathan, Cody, do you guys have anything else you want to chat about before we open it up for comments or questions?
I feel like I did, and then we ruined the live stream, and now I can't remember what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
Also,
as a streamer,
I had a big mimosa.
Streamer, though, that like really messes you up. Like you've got everything planned, you've got it all bullet pointed, and then all of a sudden you have a technical hiccup that, it's like, I don't know how some of these big streamers do it. Nathan's got an awesome, speedy computer. He's running everything. It was going just fine in our test server, our test round yesterday. So I don't know. We'll look into that so we don't have hiccups in the future. But yeah, if you think of it, Mr. Mimosa, let us know. Nathan, how about you? Are you good? Are you?
Yes. Yeah, man. I got my mimosa too, so I'm good.
All right. So yeah, if you guys have any specific pointed questions for us, feel free to type it in the chat. If it's something you don't want out publicly, feel free to shoot us an email or something like that. But it wasn't a long stream today, but we did want to just kind of get out there and talk about Rusty Quill and what all that meant. And hopefully you heard all that. If you still have questions about that, definitely let us know. I don't want to repeat info, but
yeah. Also to celebrate 250,000 downloads. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yes. Yeah, that was pretty exciting.
I gotta say, we just in the last less than a week here since we went live with Rusty Quill. I should pull it up right now, but we're over 40,000 downloads just for this week, which is gigantic. It took us 2.5 years to get to 200,000. Let me see if I can pull up the numbers. I don't know if anybody. I'm a data nerd, so I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I love to see stuff like that.
Let's see. I would normally say, I don't think too many people care, but I know certain people like I know Anya has been there like from the beginning, and while we do, probably I guess gloat a little on on how much better we've been doing lately. um I think that is also like a big thank you to the people who've been there um, from the start, and the people that have been coming in and and doing a lot to help us grow. And I'm very very appreciative of that.
Yep, we all are, and I think it goes without saying, but I hope you guys check out the other shows on that Rusty Quill network. Those consist
Some awesome ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually
Mhm.
making friends with them quite a bit through Discord. But How It Ends, I've just started listening to that. I think I'm around episode 10 right now in season 1. It's a little bit of a slow burn, but phenomenal. Very excellent show. Cryptids, I'm going to start that next. I listened to the Deca tapes, a couple years ago, I think it was now. I might want to re-listen to it again. Old Gods of Appalachia, already a huge show. Those guys are like, they're doing something right because they have a gigantic Patreon page. I think they just give a ton of content. But I know a lot of our listeners came over from some of their Facebook groups and stuff like that when our fans kind of mentioned our show to them. So, I mean, I feel like it's just such a small world, but I really like to see all those shows successful. So check them out if you haven't already. Let's see. He's listened to 3 of them already. Cindy's a latecomer, found you through Rusty Quill and was not disappointed with finding you. Thank you. Thank you
Thanks.
so much. That's
We appreciate
huge.
it.
Yeah. And like I said, if you guys want rewards in Patreon that you're not seeing, we're always open to discussion about that stuff. We are still a small team. Rusty Quill is not helping us with manpower. So all the Patreon is still going to be all us. But we're definitely open to that stuff. We want to make sure you guys find value with it too. Happy to put your stuff in my ear holes.
We're happy to be in your ear. Does that say ear balls?
Yes.
Ear balls? Oh, I read ear
thank you.
holes,
Which
Ear
is a whole
balls.
different picture.
Yeah, it's another connotation. Well, I think unless you guys have additional questions, it's probably a good point to end the stream. But thanks again so much for attending. I know I'll probably be sharing the replay, or I might have to like master together the first part of it and this part for a full replay since we switched midstream here. But thanks for attending. We really do appreciate your support. And, reach out to us. Get on the Discord. I know some of you already have. Facebook. We're everywhere. So you guys know how to reach us. But hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll chat with you later.
Cheers.
Wait. Cheers.
Take care, all.